Tomorrow, perhaps. I loaded the backed-up laundry into the second-hand washing machine my sister had bought for me. The day it arrived, she'd brought detergent and fabric softener too. I put both in, pressed the button, and let it run. The clothes came out clean, spun dry, smelling of something good. I took them out one by one, snapping each piece before hanging them on the balcony. They dried fast. When I buried my face in them, I smelled Sunai. My wife was a beautiful woman. The factory boss shoved her through the door, a 15-year-old girl, there to do whatever nobody else wanted to do. She bowed her head with shy, sorrowful eyes that made her look younger than she was. Word was she'd lost her father, packed up her mother and younger siblings, and moved to Seoul to live in a single room. This child breadwinner ran errands for the senior workers, moving through the factory floor like she was already apologizing for existing. Stories like hers were everywhere in that building. You tripped over them. We found each other years later by accident on a street in Yongno. I'd moved to another factory by then. I almost didn't recognize her. She greeted me with a warmth I hadn't expected, and her eyes, those sad eyes, were gone. In their place was something bright, almost playful. We looked around for somewhere to sit and spotted the first KFC in Seoul. We got in line. College kids everywhere. I told her to go grab a table upstairs. Her bell-bottom pants swayed with each step she took up the stairs. I brought 2 Cokes and found her at a window seat.
I'm working at an accessories shop now,
she said, drawing from her straw in slow, satisfied sips. Is it okay, the work? I gulped mine down and turned the cup in my hands. That afternoon I felt certain I would see her again. Can I call you? She smiled, full and open, and nodded. I watched her until the crowd swallowed her. We dated on weekends, wandering through Insadong and the old back alley markets. After about a year, I worked up the nerve. Sune, my mother keeps pushing me to meet someone, a matchmaking thing. She won't let it go. I paused to watch her face. Her eyes went wide, waiting. She wants to set you up? No. I told her I'm already seeing someone. A quiet smile spread across her face. I took it as permission to keep going. Would you come meet her? She nodded, not unwilling. We got through both family meetings without incident. We started our life together in a semi-basement, 1 room. When we finally saved enough to move into a proper lease, Sunai carried the rice cooker in first, cradling it with both hands like something precious.
They say if the rice cooker goes in before the people, you'll be rich,
she said, leading the way. Around that time, I tried to open a button factory with a colleague. We found a basement unit in a Changsindong alley and signed the lease. Everything seemed to be falling into place. I waited for the machines to arrive. They never did. My partner stopped answering his phone. I drove around his neighborhood looking for him. He was gone. The betrayal gutted me, but what I couldn't face was Sunai. She had packed my lunch every pre-dawn morning without complaint. She'd taken on piecework, wrapping stationery stickers, just to bring something in. She always found another way. In summer, the rice would get weevils. Sune would lay out a straw mat in the yard, set a steel bowl of water beside it, and pour the rice out in a wide sheet. The tiny black bugs scattered in every direction. She'd catch them by hand and drop them into the water, one by one. She couldn't bring herself to waste a single grain of rice.
Stop drinking. We need money.
She came home from work to find me in the corner with a bottle.
Nobody asked you to make the money.
I poured the last glass and drank it.
How many years are you going to keep blaming that man? Get up. Do day labor. Do something.
The more useless I became, the sharper she got. I kicked the dinner table over. Rice, soup, everything hit the floor. After that, a distance opened between us, between me and her, between me and our daughter, that couldn't be crossed. I lost track of whether I was drinking the liquor or the liquor was drinking me. Whenever I came back to myself, her lip was split. Our daughter was inside the wardrobe, crying.
We got a call. Sir, this can't keep happening.
The cops walked in like they had better places to be. Family matter. It won't happen again. I'm sorry. Then she put the divorce papers in front of me. How long are you going to live like this? I can't do it anymore. I gave her every excuse I had.
I'm not lazy. The world just won't give me a break.
She clicked her tongue, said I was hopeless.
I didn't grow up poor, so my daughter could.
I had nothing to say to that. Every fight, our daughter sat in the corner with terror on her face, crying without sound. I stamped the divorce papers. She left with our daughter, just their clothes, nothing else. The front door opened, and they walked out, hand in hand, down the stairs. Our daughter was 15. At the bottom of the stairs, she looked back at me. Her eyes were somewhere between grief and fury, trembling on the edge of both. After the divorce, I searched for Sunai everywhere. Someone said they'd spotted her near Dongdaemun Market. I went back for days. Once I was sure I'd found her. I followed a woman through the crowded market stalls, my heart slamming against my ribs. I didn't know what I would do when I caught up. Fall to my knees and beg forgiveness, or rage again. My mind was a storm. She turned into a small accessories shop. I followed her in. My mouth went dry. She turned around slowly. Before I could say I'd finally found her, my legs gave out beneath me. It was someone who only looked like her from behind. I live now on the ground floor of a rundown villa on the outskirts of Seoul. Redevelopment swept through the area, and most people left with relocation money. My building sits on a leftover patch of land too small to redevelop, aging badly alongside me. I couldn't always tell morning from evening. When I opened my eyes, I reached for macchioli before food. It didn't fall apart all at once after the divorce. I tried for a while, small things, but the world kept not being on my side. A pastor found me when I was barely holding on. He took my hands and prayed over me. He called me a lamb of God. He helped me apply for welfare benefits. I spent my days in an old chair out front drinking convenience store macchioli. The owner let me run a tab and always told me to take it easy as she wrote it down. A church acquaintance saw me coming out one afternoon and said she'd tell the pastor. I didn't much care. The church had relocated anyway, caught up in the redevelopment. My only temple now was the bottle. Sometimes in the morning I'd watch people leaving for work and feel a strange envy, standing there, just breathing in the early air. I used to be one of them, young and certain, running towards something. That version of me feels very far away. When the loneliness hit, so did the anger, and I drank. My bladder gave out like a broken faucet. I stopped washing. The machine broke, so the laundry stopped too. I became a man with one outfit and a permanent smell. The apartment filled with filth. Eventually, I stopped making it to the bathroom at all. The neighbors complained. It went to the district office. Social workers came, surveyed the damage, and left. With help from a neighbor on the third floor, I got a new ID photo taken at a subway booth and replaced my registration card. I kept buying on credit. My sister paid off the tab in cash. The rice from the district office sat untouched until weevils moved in. An elderly woman who collected scrap paper heard about it and came over with her walker, said she'd feed it to her dog. I handed the whole 5-kilogram bag out to her at the door. I didn't have the strength to carry it. Sune would have cleaned every grain. I just gave it away. The neighbors stopped complaining and started filing reports. A social worker came back. The calls were piling up. Help was coming, she said. Volunteers arrived early one morning and threw open every door and window. They filled trash bags with everything I'd let pile up. Someone led me to the bathroom, and I stepped out of my rotting clothes and washed myself with a bar of fragrant soap. Leave the windows open, they said. I said I would. The apartment began to breathe again, layer by layer. My nose, dull as a worn blade for so long, started catching things again. Something clean, something warm. My sister stocked the fridge with kimchi.
If you fall apart again, I'm putting you in a psychiatric ward. Alcohol treatment. Don't test me.
I won't go near a brewery, I mean it. The words came out before I knew whether I meant them. One evening I was drinking in the alley and I went down. The asphalt was hard against my back, cold as my own chest. I lay still and looked up at the sky. Something wet moved at the corner of my eye. Above the alley, the sky opened in the shape of a cross. I remembered being a small child in a church pew, hands pressed together, promising to be good. Then a siren, somewhere far off, like a church bell, and my clouded mind began to clear. My right arm, something had crushed it. The pain was unlike anything I'd felt before. I raised my left hand and touched my forehead. Sticky, thick, like summer taffy melting in the heat. I brought my fingers to my lips. It tasted like salt, like tears. I swallowed it and closed my eyes. The world, apparently, still had some use for me. A young man who looked a little like Jesus had found me and called for help. I went to the hospital in an ambulance. X-rays, a cast on the arm, a metal pin in the split skin of my forehead. The doctors and nurses looked at me the way people look at something they're trying not to smell. In the mirror, I saw what they saw. Arm in a sling, forehead wrapped in white bandage like a crown. Proof of innocence I hadn't earned. Jesus saved the world. I've been an embarrassment to it. My sister left the next morning with worry pressed deep into her face. My wife and daughter, their faces are blurring now. If I passed them on the street, would I even know them? The broken washing machine went out. The second-hand one came in. I remembered what the delivery man had shown me, loaded in the laundry, press start. Time, which had stopped, began to move again. Months of drinking had stripped me to almost nothing. My legs could barely hold me up. There was dried blood on my face from the fall. Someone had left a cane at the door. I gripped it and stepped out into the alley. Out here, the smell of people. Out here, I could breathe. I held the stair railing and came down slowly. My fingers found a coin in my pocket. I rolled it between thumb and forefinger. Coins make a cheerful sound when they move together, a bright jingle. My daughter used to laugh like that. The convenience store owner gave me credit again, no questions. I walked back up the stairs with a packaged lunch in one hand and the other on the railing. From the apartment next door, the hiss and rattle of a pressure cooker. The smell of cooking rice hit me before I reached the door. Warm light, steam rising, white rice and fermented soybean stew, the taste of mackerel that Sunai used to set on my chopsticks, piece by piece. Hunger moves through me like a tide. I let go of a woman who could not throw away a single grain of rice. I touched the metal pin still lodged in my forehead. Memory is like that. It won't come out. I hope the cut heals. I hope warmth finds its way back into this place. 20 years since my wife and daughter left. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're well. The memory of happiness lives in my chest as a hollow, permanent hunger. I understand now that the name for that hunger is longing. I want a table set for me, someone waiting, somewhere to go. I want to clock in, clock out, and curse the world over drinks with people who know my name. My wife was a beautiful woman. Hunger comes. I open the lid of the lunchbox. Tomorrow, perhaps.